Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon here in Waxahachie, Texas. Today is the 9th day of June, episode number 148. Scott, I know we did a cake at 50 and 100. I'm not bringing one in for 150.
No,
Okay, but
no,
at 200,
do we
200,
look like we need a cake?
a cake, balloons, the,
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the whole paparazzi.
No, we don't need all that.
And we're broadcasting live from our palatial studios here in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. And I am your co-host, Jeff Lynch. And manning the board capably and doing so many other things is our man, Sammy Brooks. And to my right, in striped attire, is our man,
Striped?
Striped.
Do you mean striped? Okay. Do you mean is somebody learned? Is somebody he learned that or he learned that?
He learned it. He learned
He
it.
learned it.
I think
Um,
I think striped, and I left my phone, I
I don't
guess, in
think
the
that's
car.
right. But anyway, you can
Is
say it is, but I
isn't
don't
it?
think
I
it's
think it is an acceptable alternative pronunciation.
why it's easier to say striped.
I know it's more fun to sound snotty.
Speaking of that, we're going to get to some of that here in a little while, I think. Oh, no, we're not. We're in a column. Matter of fact, well, before I get to that, let me welcome you here. Thank you for being here. Hey, Terry, we love having you here. You're what the show's all about. We appreciate everybody watching, even those we never hear from, which I know there are,
The majority of them.
yeah, majority of them for sure. So, Jeff, Sammy, and I do this every Tuesday and Thursday right here in the studio at noon to 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. I almost said Eastern Standard Time, Texas time, that is. And we love to have fun and talk about a number of different things. We are just three average guys that Jeff and I from basically the same generation. Sammy is what are you called, Sammy? Goo, goo, Goober generation? Gen Z? Sammy, you're almost 22, so I don't know what that is. Somebody tell us. But
Jen know it all.
yeah, or Jen not know anything.
Jen fake it.
Yeah. So we talk about so many different things, and we really just want to make it applicable to your life and to keep you informed and to talk about current events and just to have a free for all, essentially. So what I was going to say is that we're writing a column. I'm writing a column. Jeffrey's writing a poem for not this week, but Friday of next week about and you can tell us whether you think this or not. Do crazy people know they're crazy?
I haven't even written it, but my answer is they just think they're just as sane as anybody
They
else.
think that, yeah. So,
I mean, don't
and
you think?
yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
mean, otherwise, if they knew they were crazy, then they probably would stop being crazy. But they don't know they're crazy, so they continue being crazy, thinking they're just normal. But that also applies to ethical, applies to partisanship. I mean, I know I'm partisan, but I've had people over the years, if I didn't know I was being partisan or I thought I wasn't being, I've had people like, whether it be you, Sammy, other friends that say, dude, that's pretty partisan.
Is it applied to bigotry? Do you think?
Well, that's an
I think a bigot knows he's a bigot because he's heard people say that, and he
yeah.
says, "I don't care. I am what I am, and I will still be
Yeah,
that."
I think for the most part, although you get people older, like my grandparents, God bless them, I love them dearly, and was close to them. Particularly my grandmother, grew up in a society, a culture that had
Hmm.
racism in it. I don't know. Disagree with anybody who says America is racist. People think I'm crazy, but I don't think America is racist. I think it's presented as being racist because I think that's what the left, in part, banks their whole platform on, is that we got to convince the rest of the world or the rest of the country that there is racism, that it's largely on the right, and so it gives them a cause. And they kind of, in my view, they're rebels without a cause. Frankly, I just don't see it. When we have a president of the United States that's black, we have plenty other superstars. We have plenty of people I respect, and you do too, and Sammy does too. And I mean, how can we be a racist country when we have people of all walks of life that have done exceedingly well? So
What does this make me? What I'm about to say? I hope it doesn't make me anything bad. I think it makes something good. Maybe it doesn't make me anything. But I made this comment to Rita the other day. Um, every time I have a conversation with a black person, and it is a very pleasant and very engaging and very, I won't say intellectual, just a stimulating conversation. I cherish it. I cherish it because I genuinely think that that person thinks, you know, this white guy, he harbors no bigotry towards me. He harbors no prejudice, and he treats me like I should be treated.
Yeah.
Is that a legitimate good
I
feeling,
I
or is that a
I
weird deal?
think so. I think it's largely because we have been told and have been asked to believe that we are a systemically racist country,
Right.
and I don't believe that we are. And so, you know, for me, and I know it's the same for both of you guys, it's w- when did color have? I mean, color
Right.
is obvious. You can't get around the fact. I heard somebody say one time, "I don't see any color," and it was in a public setting with 50 people there, and I said, respectfully, "W- you you have to see color. The color is different. So if I came in and
It's
I'm
actually
I'm
black and white.
if I'm purple, yeah, well, if I come in purple, you're going to see I'm purple. If somebody's white, then or whatever, then we recognize color. The point is, we don't recognize the fact that color has anything to do with a person's
Right.
soul, heart, mind, future, whatever. So I hate it. To matter of fact, I was listening this morning to the Southern Poverty Law Center is on Capitol Hill being questioned, peppered with questions, and Alveda King, who is Martin Luther King's niece, uh, was there to say this country is not racist. Martin Luther King did not do what he did because he thought America was um, sold out to racism. He wanted people of his color to be successful and to dream and to grow and to flourish. And she said, I'm here to tell you, and she runs an organization that's built on that we are not racist. And so a lot of people disagree with that. I don't disagree with it. Not when we have had countless, we could sit here 10 hours and list person after person after person after person of whatever color to show how successful they are.
Right.
And it's what drives me crazy is when I hear people say, and we in that same discussion I was telling you about years ago. This is when not Rodney King, but George Floyd was killed. The Some folks here created a forum of black and whites to talk about it, and in that meeting, I'll never forget, our former county judge, as a lot of white people do with whatever self-inflicted guilt they have, along the lines of what you were
Right.
saying, will say, I remember when I was a little boy, I had black friends. I even had a black person spend the night with me and that sort of thing. That is more embedded in a form of systemic racism than just saying,
Right.
why is that an issue? And I remember raising my hand then and saying, that doesn't, what I said was to the black folks in the room, I said, when you hear that, that one of us, uh,
Patting ourselves on the back.
by saying that we had a childhood friend that spent the night with us. What does that mean to you? And they're like, it's disrespectful. It's doesn't mean a thing to us. It doesn't mean that you're not racist because you had a black friend spend the
Right.
night. So I think that's good. I didn't include in my column, my first draft anyway, the issue of bigotry, but I did go from crazy to unethical to partisan, that kind of thing.
Right.
So anyway, that isn't normally how we start. We normally start by saying, okay, Sam, and this is our 148th episode. So we start with number 48. Oh, we're using 48 today to say, hey, what? Yeah, I'll read this second. Numbers across all four major sports did notable, Sammy, listen to me.
We'd have no list.
Okay.
Notable, notable. I don't want to not hear.
We'd have no list.
Well, you
Okay.
need to
Then we'll
add to your
pass.
search notable.
Okay.
I
Good.
tell
Scott,
it
I
to give
had
me
this
the
job at one
best.
time. They list them the way they list them. They don't make that editorial decision.
Vicky says, I don't think the country as a whole is categorically racist, but that doesn't mean that racism is not. Yeah, no, there's two different, those are two different things. Systemically racist means that it's in our DNA to be racist. I don't believe that to be true. Do I believe they're racist? Absolutely. But it isn't in our DNA to be racist, in my opinion. And I'm willing to argue that point with anybody. But you're right, Vicky. I agree with you. So 48, Sammy, starting with football,
Yep.
Robert Newsom.
I don't have him.
Your list sucks, Sammy.
I have my list sucks.
Does it come from Chat
He is
GPT?
the best.
You need to quit that
Well,
Chat GPT. We just proved it when we were doing our.
Well,
You need to just
Robert
go to
Newsom.
Google and get real
well,
lists.
when you were
Robert
doing that, it was a
when
little
Robert
different.
Newsom was the fullback for Calvin Hill, for he might have been I think he was after Dorsett. I can't remember, but he was before Moose Johnson.
I have Daryl Moose Johnson.
Okay, well,
I got
48. There was another 48 before that.
A great commentator.
Yeah.
but I have the only number 48 in the Hall of Fame, Les Richer.
Who?
So don't tell me my list sucks. Les Richer.
Never heard of him.
He played from 54 to 62 for the
Right.
Rams.
All right, move on.
That's real notable.
NBA, Nazir Mohammed, 148 for the Thunder. MLB, you should know something from
MLB from 48?
Yeah.
Oh, DeGrom.
Yeah.
Who
You're no
else?
fun. Torrey Hunter,
Yeah.
Mhm.
probably one of the best to ever wear 48.
Yep.
According
How
to
do you
this,
know that?
you want to know right now? According to this list.
Very good, Sam. He's doing his homework.
Yeah, he's right
I'm
there.
Wasn't he?
impressed.
Was he with the Twins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey
Yeah, I
Hunter
guess.
was.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
loved him.
Rick Rochelle for the Cubs, DeGrom for the Rangers, and Sam and McDowell
Sudden Sam McDowell.
for the Indians.
Sudden Sam.
I don't know.
NHL.
NHL. 48 is not a goalie number.
No.
It's a
It's an offensive.
yeah.
We got Daniel Barrere,
Beret.
center. We got Scott Young, right wing, multiple teams. We got Thomas Hurdle, another center. And then
For the Nashville Predators and playing in the Cup.
Is that who
right
you were
now.
talking about?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
he
the
is?
Vegas.
In the Cup. Right
Thomas Hurdle. And then we got Tyler Kennedy. Same thing, center, multiple teams.
All
That's
right. So let's make our. Did you have anything else, on that?
A couple other.
Normally you have some other
I got one
non-notables on there. All right,
just
tell us.
because of no pronunciation. Don't worry about it. We're good.
All right. So let's segue into the NBA Finals. So San Antonio did it get its butt kicked in those two games, or was it close? I can't remember
No,
now.
it was close.
Yeah, so two close games at home, but lose them both. Yeah, the second one particularly. The second one they should have won. That's when Wemby threw the ball at the back of the dude.
Oh, I cringed so hard.
That was I don't think that was Wemby's fault. The center
It was-
is always going to look for an outlet. And
But
an outlet
Wemby's
doesn't,
not a typical center.
but
Wemby
an
can run the
outlet
floor.
doesn't just run down the the court with his back to the guy with the ball. Anyway, so they go down 0-2. I'm thinking, along with probably another million. I'm not a Knicks fan, but other people want the Knicks to win. That this is over. Trump shows up last night. Although the radio, I mean the television didn't.
I didn't
The
see
whole
him.
time I was watching it, they never once showed him and never once mentioned him, which is a partisan issue. Because if it were Obama, they'd be all over him.
Exactly.
Or Hillary or Biden, but they didn't mention Trump. Anyway, they lose.
So that now
Knicks
the
lose.
home teams lost all three in that series.
Yep.
And now we got a series. Now, if Knicks win, the Knicks win. What is it, tomorrow night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then I think it's probably Katie barred the door. On that.
On the radio the other day, they were talking about ticket prices, and I'm not sure what the seat was, but a certain group of seats was going for 16,000 a seat.
Yeah.
And then the word got out that Trump was coming. It went down to 8. And then the word went out that there'd be massive security and you had to get there 2 hours early, and it went down to 4.
Yeah, I mean, Trump has the right, obviously, to go anywhere he wants to, and I think he's fully aware of the impact, just on logistics alone. But Sammy and I were chatting about it yesterday. Uh, I remember living in Washington, D.C., and just for the vice president of the United States to go from where he lives, which is the Blair House, to the White House, they had to shut down streets every morning. And it just happened to go by where I worked on 15th and K. And just like clockwork, you could hear all the sirens, and then you see the motorcade coming, and he's going a mile, but it shuts down everything. Imagine New York City, Madison Square Garden. He flew in on Air Force One I assume, I don't know where it was there, but I would imagine that it was a mess.
Yeah, and it's right next to Union Station, making mass transit a good thing. Let me ask you, Sam, what is the shape of Madison Square Garden?
Uh,
Round, isn't it?
no, it's like Madison Square Garden. Oh, I was thinking Times
You've been
Square. I
in
don't
it.
know. Yeah, I've been in it. Oval.
It is indeed round,
Yeah.
but that's the second one. The original one was
Square.
square.
Oh, what? Yeah.
It was a square.
Yeah. I mean, I've been
Good
by it
job. Good job.
dozens of times. It's
Yeah.
right there. I mean,
I went in there for like a
so
Christmas game or something like that.
yeah, you did. Hey Tammy,
But
Sonia says they showed him oh, I didn't see that. Everyone
yeah,
booed. Yeah, I mean he's in New York, so half the people hate him, half the people love him.
what is y'all's guess on the average ticket price?
I saw that, but I can't remember. 5 grand?
7,500.
Yeah, and then they had those tickets where I see all these celebrities, and I just want to be there so I can walk up and just, you know how you give high fives in hockey? You go along the bench and you touch each other's gloves. I want to go across the front row, courtside, and just slap the you know what out of every one of them.
Now that average ticket price is based on the resale market. It's not based on, if you're a season ticket holder,
Yeah, you don't pay that.
you don't
Yeah,
pay
no,
that.
yeah.
But those tickets where they have a select area courtside that are celebrities, and two celebrities uh, paid $1 million to sit there. And I don't know which dopey celebrities, which I don't care about celebrities. They to see Ben Stiller out there running around and Spike Lee, um, I literally would just like to walk up and slap them.
Timothy Chalamet, I can't stand.
Timothy Chalamet, he
He's
probably
like 22.
Y-
Like
Yeah, so I mean,
I
but
don't
I
even know
didn't
who
see
he
him
is.
show. He's in some, I don't know, he's
he's
some
a he's
dopey
an
little kid.
actor, but like
I
they keep
mean,
saying lifelong Nick. He might be a lifelong Nick fan, but
Hell,
yeah,
he's your age, I
yeah, that's what
he's
I'm
think.
a
Some,
saying.
short lifelong.
but I didn't see Trump on the jumbotron. But anyway, so the point of the conversation was back to the beginning. Do we think it's a series, or would think the Knicks are gonna come back tomorrow night and win?
I really think we have a great chance for both of these series to go to 7.
Did anybody for either team do something last night that is like, in your opinion, that is it was their night and they're unlikely to reproduce it, or did everybody play just really good
Well, no,
basketball
Josh Hart was weirdly hot from 3.
for the
Josh Hart
Knicks?
for the Knicks. He's
Were they
usually
leaving him wide open?
yeah, because he's usually a defensive
Yeah.
rebounding type of guy, but he was making every shot. But that's the only thing I would say.
Well, Wimby, I don't know if you watched the game, but Wimby at one point, who's getting, you can tell he's getting tired of being
It's
pushed
getting
around. I mean,
mad.
he's
Yeah.
7 foot, 400 and weighs about,
Uh,
89 pounds. So
and
he gets pushed around. And last night, the other stars, Jalen Brunson, formerly of
right,
the
right.
Mavericks, Wimby just doesn't. He's setting a pick, and instead of just setting a pick and letting Brunson run into him, he reaches out and kind of punches him in the back of the head and pushes his head down. And Brunson, of course, falls down and gets up, and I think he's ready to go jaw to jaw with.
Not one whistle, by the way.
Yeah,
Like the play's going on and Jalen's
yeah.
in his face.
All right, let's talk hockey real quick, as we always do. Hockey, the game fours tonight
Game
in
four, we've had
Vegas.
that last two in a row overtimes, a double and a triple
In Vegas.
in Vegas.
Yeah, I ain't watching a hockey game if it's triple overtime. I'm
We've
sorry.
seen big leads puffed up. We've seen just a lot of good hockey. I tell you what, we haven't seen much mischief. We've seen hard checking. There's not a lot of scrums after plays. Every time
Yeah.
your goalie makes a stop and I'm this far from you, and then Sam's got to come and try to knock me over, and I haven't even
Hmm.
touched you. None of that.
Well, I showed Sonia last night the picture of McNabb for the Golden Knights who
The-
got hit. Did you see it, Sammy? Straight in the face with a puck.
Mm.
it
I
hit-
figure 80 something miles an hour.
it was visor, then nose.
And it shows the picture I showed Sonia. It shows his nose. He's got almost 30 stitches, but it
Yeah.
starts here, the cut goes down here, and it comes back over his nose and then down to
Oh
his lip.
my
I
God.
one time
Now
had to,
he's wearing the full cage now,
yeah,
which is way more protection than a visor,
yeah.
and you don't have any of those cotton picking. Um, what's the issue when it clouds up? It gets
Foggy.
Yeah, no foggy issues.
Yeah, one time, long time ago, I was playing, we called it the elbow for lunch bunch. We'd play basketball when we were in our 25, 30 years old. And I got elbowed right there. And so it sliced my nose just a little bit right. I had 1 or 2 stitches. And when that doctor put that needle in my nose I was like, I just in my life right now. I can't deal with this pain. In my nose. And so this dude got 30 stitches and I'm sure he would have come back to the game if they'd have let him. But they
So
took
yeah,
him to the
he's
hospital.
playing tonight.
He played the other night.
Yeah,
Oh,
It happened
with the
2
cage.
games ago.
oh.
And so he played
with
with a
with
cage.
with the wire cage.
So what do we think? Vegas or Carolina to win the cup?
The whole thing, I go Vegas.
I go Vegas.
All right, I'll be the odd man out and say Carolina's going to come back. What about basketball? We didn't pick
Yeah, we didn't.
let me remind you two that both of y'all said Spurs in 6. I said Knicks in 6.
It can still be Spurs and
I
six.
took
It
it
can.
just because of being a savant to you in that regard. I
What
will
does
say
that
this.
mean? A savant, like Rain Man?
No, a servant. I meant to say a mimic, a copycat. I don't know squat about hoops, and so I'm just going to take
Oh, you're
Sam's pick.
mimicking him.
Yeah,
I got it.
that's what
Aping him.
I was aping him.
All right. Rangers actually playing better baseball.
Are they
They've
500 yet?
They're still
yeah.
one under.
Oh, they're 1 under, but they're
Wow.
like only 1 game out or a game
Or
and a half out.
did they play last night? I
No.
don't. Okay.
They play tonight against.
The other day they were
can't remember.
7-3 in their last 10,
Yeah.
and they had swept 2 series in there.
I mean, as quickly as I can get off being as easy as I can get mad at the Rangers because I know they're a good team and I can't deal with it when they play bad. I can get back on in a split second.
Bandwagon man.
I mean, I'm not a bandwagoner. I'm just a moody fan.
Okay.
Because I'm on the wagon.
Especially with baseball, those droughts can last a while. It's a long season, but they play the Royals.
Okay,
so.
yeah. All right, and then College World Series. We got to get down to brass tacks right here. So let me just tell you this. Before I tell you this, let me tell you this.
Please tell us.
All right, let me tell you this. Are you ready?
We're dying.
You know I'm a big Bama fan. Where's my little notable note here? I gotta do something. Sorry. All right, listen to this. Alabama stands alone. Are you ready? The Crimson Tide is the only Division I program to make the college football playoffs, the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournaments, the women's College World Series, and the men's College World Series. Can I get a booyah?
How do?
Can I get a booyah?
Wow.
Booyah.
All right, so here's who's in the World Series of college, which is one of the great events. Matter of fact, I saw somebody. I need to find where the guy. It was March Madness, and then it was June. He called it something. A really cool way of referring to the World Series in June. So the second word started with a J. June Jamboree or not? It wasn't that, but something like that. So of the 8 teams that are in the College World Series, how many of them are in the SEC? I've already told both of y'all.
I think it's 8, right?
5. There are 8 total.
Oh, 5, yeah.
So the non-SEC teams that are in it are West Virginia,
Yeah.
Troy, which is in Alabama, 45 minutes away from Montgomery, and North Carolina. Those are the non-SEC teams. So on this Friday and Saturday, we've got West Virginia against Troy. Who we got?
Troy.
Virginia. West Virginia.
All right, West Virginia. I'll go with I'm gonna go with the Alabama guys. Troy. All right, then we got North Carolina against Ole Miss.
NC.
Carolina Blue.
All right, so both y'all got NC. Y'all got West Virginia. I'm gonna go Ole Miss, Scott, and then we got Texas and Georgia.
Horns.
Georgia.
Sammy, B, Jeffrey, and then Saturday afternoon, Alabama, Oklahoma. Don't even.
Sooners.
Oh my gosh.
I think they play pretty good baseball.
Who?
The Sooners.
All right. Y'all can bite me.
Boomer.
You know I did it just to harass
Yeah.
you.
All right, so there you go. And then we got to say, well, we'll do the rest of it later.
Well, any of those games be before Saturday? We got some
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll know next Tuesday. We'll know what it's down to, and we'll be able to predict it closer to what the winner might be.
Cool.
All right. So there you have it on some sports updates. Tarnations, Scott Pelley at CBS. Let me tell you something. Scott Pelley, Sonia and I were watching an interview with Scott Pelley, who, for those of you that don't know Scott Pelley he's been a reporter for a long time, been in, reporting on combat and in combat areas, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, go Texas, Terry. Scott Pelley just got fired. He was the key guy on 60 Minutes, just got fired. In an interview last night, or that we saw last night, he was crying. And you know what he said? He said, losing this job. Listen to this. This is truly a tarnation. Like, what in the world? Losing this job at CBS was like my wife getting murdered.
That is hyperbole.
And then he said, some days I'm good with it. Some days I'm really, really sad. Now I'm thinking, if anything, if
Which days would you be good with it
with your
wife?
wife, yeah. And I mean, Sonia knows this, but if Sonia got stung by a bee, I'd be, I remember Sonia had a little episode years ago and it fell, and I was torn up. I mean, I could not keep myself together. It scared me so bad. This dude is talking about, well, it's like my wife, me getting fired. It's like my wife getting murdered, and some days I'm good and some days I'm not. And then he went on to say more and more he's been in combat and he's crying, and I've been shot at. And he said, I don't think Trump has ever been in any of those situations. And as one of the other talking heads at another show said, Trump was actually shot, you big dope. You were shot at. Trump was actually shot. And so and he said, here's to our column and our poem point. He actually, they told him at CBS when they were getting rid of him that he doesn't understand how partisan he is. And he said, I asked them for metrics. Can you prove to me that we're partisan? And it made me understand. It made me start thinking about this column. It's like, well, do crazy people know they're crazy? Just like, do partisan people like Scott Pelley really not know they're partisan? I mean, he's as partisan.
Do leftists not know they're leftists?
Well, and
I
in
mean,
some, yeah. I mean, it's same can be applied to the right. I mean, I
Right,
know
well,
I'm
yeah,
conservative and
exactly.
pro Trump and all that.
That's where I was going next.
I don't ever argue it. I mean, I don't ever say to somebody, I'm not partisan. I've never said that. From our news pages, I don't touch anything that comes out on any page but page 5, which is the op-ed. We don't have any partisanship at the
Do you
paper.
know if you're Christian, agnostic, or atheist?
Yeah.
That covers the whole ground.
Yeah,
Because
it does.
agnostic doesn't care either way.
But
You know
you're
what
right.
you are.
But Scott Pelley says, without those metrics, you can't tell me that we're partisan. But the rest of the world's telling him he's partisan.
But you know what? I think the number one thing that did it is, it's one thing to go in to tell your boss you think they're an idiot,
Yeah.
and da 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 da. And it's another thing to do it in a conference room full of your peers in a meeting.
Mhm.
And do you think you're God and you walk on water and it's okay to do that? That's your ticket out
Yeah.
anywhere.
I would. It should be. If
Sam,
it's not, it should be.
blood wouldn't mean anything if you came and read a riot act to your dad in front of the whole newspaper. Blood wouldn't mean a thing, would it?
Well, he might
No.
bleed some, but yeah. But that's the point. Scott Pelley is just, it makes me sick because it's just not a one-off. It represents all of them. And Maddow, would she sit there and say, I'm not partisan? Or we just tell the truth when the woman doesn't know how to spell the word? Or any of them? Does Jesse Waters, one of my favorites, does he know he's partisan? I gotta believe that he would say absolutely.
That's how he gets his job at the station he does,
Yeah.
not a different station.
Yeah.
Right?
So anyway, there you have it with Scott Pelley. It's sick. Madden 2027, we know has
We talked about that
we did
last
talk
week.
about that last
Yeah.
week. Mayoral race last week. We talked about Spencer Pratt having a chance to be the next mayor of Los Angeles, and what we have seen since is the reason why California needs to be overhauled from A to Z. They're still counting votes. Florida counts millions of votes in a day. All right. California counts similar amounts of votes. It takes them a month. So they don't have any official winner for the mayor's race or the governor's in terms of the primary governor's race. So Spencer Pratt was a very close second to Karen Bass. Why anybody would ever vote for Karen Bass is beyond me. But anyway, Spencer Pratt was second to her when we met last week on Thursday. Today, he's third and gone.
And all of a sudden, after the election, they had over 10,000 write-in votes go and get counted at 10,000 to 0. How does that happen?
Yeah, I don't.
How does that
It
happen?
should be. It's going to be investigated. And as I told Jeff in prep, that the governor's race right now is how this Bucera, uh, guy that's just so corrupt, it leads out there is beyond me. But in second is Republican Steve Hilton, and it looks like that's going to hold. I do believe that California, much like the country with Trump, if Steve Hilton wins the governorship in California in the general election in November, I think California's issues are going to be resolved, whether it be voting, gas, uh, corruption, waste, whatever. It's got to be fixed because the idea that a state like that claims to be, and it is, what, the fifth largest economy in the world, as a state compared to countries, it's huge. And for them to take a month to tally votes, and really, when they give you, when you ask them, why does it take you a month? Well, we want to be sure we get it right. It just inflames the whole situation because we know they're not getting it right. We know they're playing games, and so I think it's sad. But if all it
Yeah.
takes is one guy, one woman, one candidate to change it
And
all.
speaking of fraud, I heard something and I called up Joe Youngbauer, my dear friend from Minnesota who sat in that seat
Yeah, yeah,
4 or 5 months ago. I said, Joe, I just heard that a 200-page report has come out showing that Tim Walz and his top aide both knew about the whole Somali deal all along and just
so rough.
turn the blind eye to the whole
They
deal.
got to
And
go
he
to.
goes, yeah, not to mention that, and I think he did mention this on the show. The Minneapolis mayor's wife was the attorney for a bunch of these top Somalis. Eh,
Somebody's got to go to prison. Somebody has to go to prison in Minnesota. Some bodies have to go to prison. They have to. Um, so, but the California is really showing us what California is. And I have friends, I went to high school in California, and friends that still live there, and they love the weather, but man, would they love to be out of that. I mean, it's $7, over $7 a gallon for gas. Of course, they'll blame it on Trump, but it's not $7 a gallon here. So if Trump's the reason it's $7 a gallon there, why isn't it $7 a gallon here? The difference is that we have a response. I mean, Abbott's not perfect, neither is the administration, but we we're better run than California, obviously. So it's just pure fraud. All right, you wanted to talk about Brendan Sorsby. Let me just set it up, and Jeff's going to weigh in. But Brendan Sorsby is the quarterback for Texas A&M, who, while he was at Texas Tech, while he was at Indiana, he bet, I think it was close to 90 grand along the way over a period of time on sports, on football, on Indiana, and he was in the game. He was denied another year of eligibility because of that, which I believe is the right approach and the right decision. Until a district judge, and we've had discussions and columns and poems about rogue district judges or any kind of rogue judge who doesn't have anything to do with what they're deciding. A judge in Lubbock.
this guy was a traveling judge.
Okay, so
So
but I don't know if he's based in Lubbock,
I
but
think I read three different things trying to get it straight, but my understanding was he retired in Tarrant County in 2012, and now he's kind of like judge for hire.
Yeah, well, he got hired,
And so they bring him out there,
and
and
look what he does. He
look what he
reverses
does.
the decision. So Sorsby's going to play at Tech uh, this year. I think the NCAA is going to try to may take it to the Supreme Court. I don't know, but it's. I'm going to let you weigh in, and so I'll offer my opinion afterwards. But that's the situation. He was denied a like a fifth year, maybe sixth year. I don't know, but the fifth year, another year. Let's put it that way, of playing football. He's a very good quarterback. He's at Texas Tech. If he doesn't play, then he's making a claim that he will lose a lot of opportunities. So what say you?
Well, I mean, I like this quote out of this column this morning that Sorsby spent 35 days in an Arizona facility after a diagnosis of gambling and anxiety disorder, and now he's good to go. And basically, they're saying that it would just be devastating on him. It'd be devastating on him. He wouldn't be
Mm,
able to handle that. And so I just think it's a pile of baloney. But to me, it comes back to the fact that I think our whole sports world is driven by the gambling industry. You can't watch the hockey game without seeing the DraftKings on the boards. You can't watch any game without seeing commercials for betting. It's all about betting. Betting is driving the whole sports world. And how do you expect every athlete to be legit and never cheat, never shave a point, never do anything? It's all because we've made gambling the god.
yeah, I mean, what about, I think of so many different things. I'm in total agreement with you. I think of so many different scenarios now that are going to have to be addressed. So let's talk about, obviously, the future uh, is now centered on, or has to be based on, a precedent. All legal decisions involve a precedent. And so now that these players going forward, who obviously, given the gambling's appeal, and it's an addictive thing, as we know, uh, what happens to the guy who is gambling, gets caught, and then is told he can't play anymore? What are the first two words out of his mouth? Brendan Sorsby. What about the players who have been busted in the past? You could go back any number of years. We could go back to Art Schlichter. Remember Art Schlichter, for the quarterback for the Ohio State and then the Baltimore Colts at the time? His life was ruined because of gambling, but he had so many different problems. Remember Ryan Leaf? Gambling was a problem for him in his life.
Paul Horning with the
Was yeah,
Green Bay Packers in '64 sat out a year.
yeah,
And that's when who gambled? I mean,
yeah.
you had to know a bookie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so but I think of the more recent years where players have been caught gambling. What are they going to do now? So it's like, wait a second, you guys. The precedent now is that Brendan Sorsby got an extra year of play. I'm gonna I'm gonna go to somebody and say, wait a minute. I mean, I may be too old now, but if it's in real recent years, which we know of countless guys that have been busted. I mean, not countless, but a lot of players have been caught gambling. The ones that are in recent years, what are they going to say? Well, wait a minute, I'm going to go back to, we got to be hurt again. I want another year. I want to. So I think, it's this one comes right out of Friday Night Lights, if you ask me. It's a judge who has an affiliation, it sounds like. I could be wrong, but I think he has. Terry says, I heard some coach that compares him to Aaron Rod. Yeah, I mean, Sorsby's good, but I think this judge, I don't know him. It's my opinion, so I don't have any facts to back this up, but it sounds right up the alley of judge for hire. You
Hmm.
said it.
Yeah.
And so here's a cool $500,000. Here's a million. Here's 5 million. Here's whatever rule that Sorsby can play, and we all go our merry way. I think that's what's going on here, and it's unfortunate. I mean, that's an indictment on the judge, but it's a judge. He's no different than the ones who from Massachusetts or Reno, Nevada, make a decision regarding something Trump's doing. What in the world?
And God help me if I've stated this wrong, but I researched this 3 different times. I look up the judge. I Google up the judge, and they say he's retired in 2012.
Yeah.
Okay, they never give another job. Is there such a thing as traveling judges for hire?
Well, I know they're visiting judges.
Visiting judges.
Like part of the Hannah Dillard
Okay,
whole
yeah.
scenario involves another case that a guy got
But
probation
in
for
that
killing two
case,
people. It was a visiting judge.
you judge shopped to get them.
I guess. I mean, we got to learn more. Just had a discussion yesterday with the guy in McKinney about how did a visiting judge end up overseeing a court case so bad, as the current judge in that courtroom was, for some of it was in the courtroom, I'm told. So I don't get it, but it's just wrong. So the judge was like an outside party mediator. I don't know if, in a way, I guess they are all mediators, but I think this judge is a judge. He's not a mediator, but he is
No,
a
he
judge,
came
and he
in and
made a
supported the.
decision.
Yeah.
Um, so there is a difference between the two, but he served the purpose. Like I'm going to make the decision, and the decision is that Brendan Sorsby gets to play. If you're a fan of Texas A&M, I guess you're happy about it. But people may think I don't actually mean this, but I
And,
do.
it wasn't like they were overturning a law of the land. This was NCAA made a
Yeah.
decision. This is like private industry made a decision,
Hmm.
and then okay, you're going to sue for a reversal of that,
Right.
and that's where
Yeah.
that's where you get your
I
higher
don't
judge
want
to do it.
I don't want any team that I support at the college level, certainly, or any level, but in this case, Alabama. I don't want to know that our quarterback was a gambler on our own team and is now still playing. I just don't want to do that. I want to feel like our wins are legit, and that gives me a feeling of illegitimacy.
Rita gets things on her phone feed that I don't get, and I don't know where she gets them. She came to me this morning. She said, "Now Georgia and Nebraska have told the athletic
Yeah.
departments do not play
Do
any
not schedule
games
Tech.
now against those two teams."
That's what's happening.
And
They're
I went
almost
to look it up. Georgia and Nebraska are not on the schedule for football against Texas Tech, but this is sweeping.
yeah.
You're talking about Alabama winning all those different sports, and there's a whole lot more sports than that.
Right.
And this is just okay.
And it's more than
None of our sports are playing against
it's
them.
more than Nebraska and Georgia now. The Big 12 commissioner has weighed in on it, and these teams are going to,
And that's the conference they're
yeah,
in.
it is. A pariah is an outcast. So I think Tech is running the risk here of being an outcast, and that is, unless mandated, which schedules are mandated by the conference, but and Tech has to play somebody, but certainly those schools that don't have to play Tech are saying we're not going to play Tech.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're fearful of Brendan Sorsby's talent, although he's very talented. It's to say this is not acceptable. We've lost players because of what Brendan Sorsby's done, and Tech gets to keep their player, and we don't. This is not acceptable. So it's a disappointing thing for me, and it should be for those of us that love college football. I think it has the potential to ruin college football, if not further damage it on top of what NIL has already done. All right, Sammy, cue up Mr. Trump. So Trump, believe it was yesterday, might have been Sunday, was in Wisconsin, and he sat down with Meet the Press. Her name is Kirsten. Well, I can't remember her first name, but you'll see her on here. And he had enough. He finally had enough of a network doing what these networks do. And I wanted you, if you haven't already seen it, to see how Trump handled the discussion.
I can't wait because I know that gal on 60 Minutes, she wouldn't take an answer without coming back 3 times.
Yeah.
To try to
Similar, but I don't think it's not that long.
No,
So
okay.
the part here you're going to see is Trump actually doing what he did. So go for it, Sam.
Another Meet the Press interview.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
really.
Let's
well,
continue.
You play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Let's
you play
continue.
right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
you know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about
elections
you
in
went
this
to
country.
court.
We're like a third world country.
But, sir,
your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an
Wisconsin.
hour, on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
we
great
traveled
with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on, let's
traveled
go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
That's it, Sam. Thank you. So, I mean, I don't blame Trump. Enough is enough. I mean, at what point is it gonna finally resonate that this is no more? Are we doing this? And she's making the plaintiff wail, which I learned from the O.J. Simpson trial, which is a whine, for lack of a better description. Plaintiff wail is a whiny whine. That I flew all the way to Wisconsin and to have this interview, but you see how disrespectful these people are. They just, if it was us talking, I mean, we talk over each other, but this is a supposed to be a fun, vibrant radio show or talk show. If I'm interviewing the president of the United States, I'm going to let him answer the question, and these people just batter him. And finally, he, like he's done in other hearings, other press conferences. You're crooked. You're stupid, he says. I mean, this woman, she probably doesn't think she's partisan. She just said she's not corrupt, or she's not, whatever word he used, maybe corrupt. She just said that. But how many times do we have to hear her or her network do things like what she was saying there? She's given we just blasted California. She's given California a pass, saying this is the way they do it in California. Well, the way they do it in California is wrong and corrupt. Just because of this, the way they do it doesn't matter. That's a journalist is supposed to say, hang on a second.
Aren't you one of the high-tech centers of the world?
Supposed to be Silicon Valley.
And y'all can't figure out how to count ballots?
But I wanted you guys to see that Trump, I think as we get closer to his final year or the end of his presidency, because he's not going to run for a third term, but he'll be 82 years old.
He becomes more and more emboldened because
That's
guess
right.
what? It's no skin off my back. It's water runs off like a duck's rear end, and it doesn't
right.
matter. It doesn't matter.
Terry says he tells it like it is, does. Vicky said, back to the Brendan Sorsby, is this a case in the court system or just the schools governing by? It's a court system, federal court. So Trump, I think you're right. Trump's never been one, I think more in his first term because he didn't really know what was all involved. But we've seen a big difference, both successful. We've seen a difference in how he handles his second term. And that I think you're right. Eventually he's going to get to the point where he's going to tell somebody on the air things that he shouldn't say. But how much can you take? I mean, he's watching California do what was done to him in 2020. I think that's what he thinks.
Can we go with a quick tarnation before we try to squeeze in our next segment on the
Yes.
McKinney? Okay, my man Hockey Jeff sent me this about the City Council of Plano with what they put together for their proposal to go on the ballot for venue taxes for the new arena. And some of what they do is fairly normal. They got a car rental at 5% and a hotel rental at 10%, at 2%. And people do that all the time when they're doing a partnership between a city entity and a private team. And they say, that sales tax on cars won't hurt you. You don't rent a car in your town. You don't rent a hotel in your town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they do sneak in a couple other things. I did a little research and I didn't realize this was happening at AT&T also. They got $3 on parking is going to pay off that stadium, and admission of 10 a head. But what they got going on in Plano is different. And by the way, American Airlines Center All they got is the hotel and the car rental.
Mhm.
I didn't research the baseball stadium. Um, a venue usage tax on the players up to, you won't believe this number, $5,000 per game.
So a player has to pay that?
A player plays that to play in that stadium. Now, there are other situations like that in the country, but they don't apply if your state has a sales tax on the way they normally do it. But this way they're doing it. They're going 5 per game. And in hockey, in your division, you play 8 games, play 4 and 4.
Right.
Okay. That's 20,000 to come in from Minnesota
Yeah.
to play. Now, Pittsburgh had that going on also at 3%. And guess what? A judge in a class action suit, a judge ruled against it because they said it was illegal because it wasn't treating the the people that played there and lived there the same as the other team,
Yeah.
and they reversed it, and that was going to go on all 3 of the stadiums in Pittsburgh. And here's what Pittsburgh's now facing: a $6 million budget shortage because they had baked that revenue into their revenue projections and when they're making
Yeah.
their budgets. And so now they're going to be $6,000 short. And that ruling came in September of 25.
Yeah, I don't, that seems tough for me to take just at face value what you said
Yeah.
there. I don't, there's more for us to discuss on this. I don't know what the city of Dallas is up to. And I know that at some point you have to say, you're not gonna have a knife at my throat, as the city of Dallas might be saying to the Stars and to the Mavericks, and cause us to do things that we can't afford to do. And as a result, we lose two big time franchises to outlying cities. I don't think that's good for Dallas. I love Dallas as we're born, and I want it to remain a vibrant, wonderful city. Sonia and I were up there the other day on Friday, and we had a blast, and it was easy to get around, uh, and so I want Dallas to thrive and be healthy. The AAC is a wonderful arena. Those of us in Waxahachie can be there in no time. Parking's a little, all of that is out of what do you, sorts, but they're in Dallas. And now we're going to have Plano and the, and what? Valley View is not in Richardson.
No, that's in Dallas.
Yeah,
That Valley View Mall is still
it's
in Dallas.
it's further away.
Yeah.
It's just it's a shame. I don't,
Yeah.
as we were talking about,
Well,
what's the AAC going to do?
well,
Have
I
high
just
school
think
plays and
I
stuff?
think the politicians don't have their heads screwed on right because guess what? No ground has been moved in either of those cases, and if they came up with the right thing, they could probably still reverse it, but
Yeah.
they're nowhere near doing that. And remember Laura Miller, the mayor of,
Mhm.
she'll be remembered always for 2 things: probably the greatest haircut of all time for women, and number 2, for letting the Cowboys get to Arlington. Because remember this, they started out in Dallas in the early '60s, and then Texas Stadium was built, and they were in Irving. They weren't, but Irving kind of feels like part of us. It's a
Yeah.
near in suburb, and
Yeah.
so then she blew it. She blew it. She could have had the Fair Park. She could have
Yeah.
done different things. She blew it, and
Well, having
there
lived
you
in
go.
Pittsburgh those years, I could look out my office window downtown and see Heinz Field
Hmm.
and PNC Park. Before that, it was Three River Stadium. Remember,
Yep.
football and baseball, and then hockey was just up the road from those. Couldn't see it out my window, but that's a new arena. So Pittsburgh is one of these cities, unlike many others where they have at least one of their sports franchises that are outside city limits. Pittsburgh is a city in which you could draw a 3 mile radius circle, and all three, they don't have basketball, but all three are right there in it, in the city, and it's awesome.
And they're the only city with all their teams with the same colors,
Yeah,
black and yellow.
yeah, it's a pretty cool setting. So we're going to talk more about what's going on in Plano and Valley View with the Stars and the Mavericks Oh, it's rhyme time, but I also want to tell you before I forget, Jeff and I and Sammy have had on our agenda to talk about Christians and the concept of war, the actual war even. Next Thursday, this coming Thursday, we're going to talk more about what does the Bible really say about war, and as a result, what do Protestants and Catholics alike, what do we feel about war? Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it
Right.
necessary? Is it unnecessary? So we're going to dig into that a little bit
We
more.
follow a sheet every week, and
Yeah,
it's on it every week.
it's been on it for a long
This is
time. All
this
right,
is a
rhyme
quick one
time.
because but it's all about we're celebrating the beginning of the corona in March of 2020, and this was the first poem I ever wrote
On
that
COVID?
what
Yeah,
did I say?
Corona.
Corona on COVID. It's called What My Kids Call the Rona. Staying at home is no longer called hooky. It's a mighty fine time to bake a homemade cookie. Time at home with the one I love sort of makes me feel like a turtle dove. Folks are dying. I don't want to take it light. Who'd have ever thought would be in such a plight? It's God's big plan. You got to stay his fan. Never lose sight. He is your man. So when you hit your knees tonight, say we're all here together in this viral fight. I pray with faith to my God that we all love our neighbors like ourselves, and that he'll put that darn COVID back on the shelf. That
Very
was
good.
quick.
To never come back. All right, day in history.
Day in history.
Let's hear it.
James Oglethorpe received a charter from Britain's King George II to establish the colony of Georgia.
1800.
1748.
1732.
Full dang.
During the Senate Army McCarthy hearings, Army Special Counsel Joseph N. Welsh berated Senator Joseph R. McCarthy, a Republican from Wisconsin, asking, "Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency?" The McCarthy trials, all about communism.
1814.
1945.
55. 55.
Samuel wasn't even in the
Excuse me,
same
54.
century.
I guess
I
55.
still,
54.
yeah.
Heavy rains triggered record flooding in the Black Hills of South Dakota that resulted in the disaster, left at least 238 people dead and more than 1,300 homes destroyed.
60.
70.
72.
My goodness.
Booyah.
Come on, I got the bonus here.
All right.
Do me right. Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes by 31 lengths, winning horse racing's Triple Crown and setting a still standing record by running the 1.5 mile dirt course in 2 minutes 24 seconds. That's now a mile
Good,
and a
Terry.
quarter.
Sammy?
83.
72.
73. Leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints struck down a policy of excluding black men from the Mormon priesthood that had been in place for more than 125 years.
80.
87.
78. Turn it
Thank you.
around.
Good, Sam.
The Rogers Commission released its report on the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, criticizing NASA and rocket builder Morton Thiokol for management problems leading to the explosion that claimed
Good,
the
Vicky.
lives of 7 astronauts.
96.
Well, that was when it happened. 98.
86 on the
Oh, I
report.
know. I was thinking.
Okay.
86 is when it happened. I meant 88, and I'll give you 86. You can take 86.
Well,
Okay.
86. Well, the same year. It must have been the same year because 86 is the answer.
Oh, the same year.
Yeah.
Wow. So you
Yeah.
got that bonus, Sam.
Good job, Vicky, on that secretariat.
Yeah, that is good.
Edward Snowden, a former CIA employee and National Security Agency contractor, revealed in a video interview from Hong Kong published by The Guardian that he was the source of a leaked trove of sensitive intelligence material. Snowden was charged with espionage and fled to residence in Russia.
Yep.
2009.
99.
13.
Well, way
I'm
off.
there.
We close with come on, bonus boys. A funeral service and burial were held in Houston for George Floyd, the black man whose death spurred widespread protests over police brutality and racial prejudice. The service came little more than 2 weeks after Floyd was pinned down for more than 8 minutes under the knee of a white Minneapolis police officer during an arrest.
Sammy,
2020.
2020. Booyah.
Booyah!
5 and 4, Sammy. I
Booyah.
was 5 and 4. What were you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6?
I had 6, I
Cheated.
guess.
All you needed was a
You got
couple.
2
I
bonuses.
knew that's 2
You
bonuses.
need
All
no
right. Are you ready
bonuses.
for things that could be false?
Born,
Be
born
true?
ready.
Look at Vicky.
William Jennings Byron.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
True or false? As recently as the 18th century, the average height of a human man, as opposed to an inhuman man, was about 5'6". In the 18th century, the average height of a human man was about 5'6". True
We're
or
in the
false?
21st century?
Yeah, okay. And
Well, this was in the 18th century.
which
Yeah,
is the 1700s.
1700s.
Was
Yeah,
5'6"?
5'6".
I got mine.
I got mine.
True or false?
I think that's false.
I'm going true.
I think it's 5'3".
In the 18th century, the average height of a human man was 5'6". Humans have gotten significantly taller over time. Today, the average male height is
10.
9.
10.
10.
There you go.
You know, I had to fess up and change my driver's license from 5'11" to 5'10", and next thing you know, I had to fess up and change all my health
I'll never
documents.
forget when I played basketball at that little bitty college. Those colleges, I was 6'1". I've never been 6'1" in my life, but I ain't moving from it. Ask me how tall I am.
You always
How
say
tall am I?
6'1".
How tall am I?
You always
Just
say
under
it.
6'1" is what I say.
Just under 6.
All right, our sponsor is Hoosier Custom Meats
6
out of
and
Italy,
change.
Texas. If you're looking for some farm raised, ranch raised beef of all kinds, from the very expensive to the least, and want some good meat, Hoosier Custom Meats is your place. Sammy's got the name and the phone number on the screen. Tell them the boys from GGN sent you. Thank you for being here. Vicky was a little off, but not far off. Anyway, thank you for being here. We'll be back on Thursday. We'll be talking about Christians and war and a number of other things, and I look forward to it. So
And we'll be
thank you.
talking about the results of what's happening in McKinney
Yes.
because that's going down
Yeah.
today.
Oh, that's right.
Have a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face. We hope we did that for you today also. Boom.